Not every 911 call begins with a scream. Some begin with silence and end in tragedy. What happens when a woman who appears to have it all, the perfect husband, the perfect home, the perfect life, finally snaps? This is not just a story of one gunshot. It's a story of years of silence, manipulation, control, and the strength it takes to finally break free. Based on real events that shocked a quiet town and ignited national conversation, this story will leave you questioning what you thought you knew about love, justice, and survival. Viewer discretion is advised. I just shot my husband. The words slid through the phone line softly, making the 911 operator's fingers freeze. To come. Like someone announcing dinner was ready, not a murder. "Ma'am, are you safe right now?" the operator asked. "I am now." Silence. Heavy breathing. Then a single sentence that would shake the small town of Ash Grove to its roots. "He told me I'd never leave alive." Camilla Hart was the last woman anyone expected to make headlines. School librarian, 32, soft-spoken, the kind of person neighbors described as polite, quiet, and always smiling, even when she looked tired. Her husband, Jordan Hart, was the opposite. 41, former military, muscular, charming, well-connected. He ran a private security firm and was a fixture at local fundraisers. He played the role of a devoted husband so well. No one ever thought to question what happened behind closed doors. But Camilla had. For years. The story began unraveling 6 months before the shooting. Camilla had shown up to work with a bruised wrist. When asked, she said she'd tripped over her cat, then a chipped tooth, fall on the stairs. Then she stopped explaining. Her best friend, Lena, a fellow teacher, had her suspicions. "Cammy, you don't have to tell me, but if you're in trouble." Camilla had smiled that tired smile. "I'm fine." But Lena wasn't convinced. Behind the Hart's oak-framed front door was a different story, one no one was allowed to see. Jordan controlled everything: her phone, her schedule, her bank account. He monitored her texts, installed security cameras in every room. For her safety, he claimed. He'd convinced her she was weak, lucky to have him, unlovable without him. Gaslighting, isolation, verbal abuse, all packaged under the guise of love. Then a turning point. One night, Camilla found an old cell phone hidden in a box of Christmas lights in the attic. One Jordan had forgotten. No spyware, no tracking, freedom in her hands. She contacted a domestic violence counselor through a secure app. Began secretly recording Jordan's rants, his threats, the time he told her, "You'll leave this house in a body bag before you leave me." She was terrified, but alive. The plan was simple: gather enough evidence, leave quietly, get a restraining order, and start over. But Jordan found out. It was a Tuesday night when everything exploded. Camilla had just finished dinner. Jordan's mood had been simmering for days. "I saw the charges," he said, voice low. "Hotel bookings in your name. Burner phone. You think I don't know what you're doing?" She froze. Her fork clattered to the floor. "You ungrateful little." He lunged, ran. He chased her up the stairs. She locked herself in the bedroom. He kicked the door in. In the chaos, she reached under the bed. The gun, one he'd taught her to shoot. "For protection," he'd said. Irony. He grabbed her by the throat. Then a single deafening shot. He collapsed, blood pooling on the cream carpet. Camilla dropped the gun, picked up her phone. "I just shot my husband." The police arrived in 6 minutes. Camilla was sitting in the hallway, hands on her lap, face pale. Officers found Jordan dead, her recordings archived on a flash drive, and bruises both old and new on her body. She was arrested, but her case ignited a firestorm. Was it self-defense or cold-blooded murder? The public was split, and as the news spread, whispers began emerging about Jordan's past. Ex-employees, former girlfriends, missing reports, pattern. Camilla hadn't just survived. She might have uncovered something darker than anyone imagined. Camilla's first night in jail was a blur of fluorescent lights, fingerprint ink, and nightmares. She didn't cry. Not yet. That would come later, when the silence was so loud it drowned her. Her attorney, Alana Graves, was one of the top defense lawyers in the state. Sharp-eyed, relentless. She wasn't cheap. But Lena had contacted a domestic abuse nonprofit that stepped in to cover the costs. "You're not a killer, Camilla," Alana said in their first meeting. "But we have to prove that in a courtroom filled with people who only see headlines." The DA, however, saw a different story. A woman who waited for her moment, who called 911 after the fact, who didn't try to run, didn't even cry. She had a plan, the prosecutor claimed. She set a trap, and then pulled the trigger. Camilla's defense hinged on the recordings and the bruises. But Jordan had connections. Former cops, politicians, influencers. Slowly, things began to shift. Evidence disappeared. A key recording was deemed inadmissible due to an unexplained technical issue. Witnesses backed out, citing threats. Alana fought back. She brought in Jordan's ex-fiancé, who'd fled to Arizona after a violent encounter. She found a former security employee who had footage of Jordan assaulting another woman in 2019. Footage that had been deleted from the firm's archives but recovered from a backup drive. Still, the media painted Camilla as unstable. Headlines read, "Librarian or liar, murder or manipulation, a perfect marriage, a perfect crime." The trial began 3 months after the shooting. Camilla took the stand. The courtroom held its breath. "I didn't plan to kill my husband," she said. "I planned to leave him." The prosecutor leaned in. "And yet you stayed. For years. You never filed a police report. Why should anyone believe you now?" Camilla looked out over the sea of strangers. "Because I believed him when he said I wouldn't survive leaving." Just when things seemed to be turning in her favor, something unexpected happened. The lead investigator in her case, Detective Ron Taylor, was found dead, an apparent overdose. But whispers began. He was the one who'd flagged the missing recordings. He had been preparing to testify about evidence suppression. Alana was shaken. "This isn't just about you anymore, Camilla. There's something bigger here. And it goes deeper than we thought." The judge refused to delay the trial. The jury would deliver its verdict by week's end. And someone in that courtroom wanted Camilla to be silenced. Permanently. On the final day of the trial, Camilla sat in silence as the courtroom filled. Alana was reviewing her closing argument one last time. Reporters lined the halls. Security had doubled after an anonymous threat was made the night before. "You ready?" Alana asked. Camilla nodded. "Whatever happens, I already survived the worst." The prosecution gave a fierce closing. They painted Camilla as calculated, emotionless, a woman who waited until her husband's guard was down. Then Alana stood. She spoke of fear, of invisible wounds, of the millions of women who suffer in silence. She played the final admissible audio file. Jordan's voice growled through the courtroom speakers. "You think anyone's gonna save you? You leave me, I'll put you in the ground myself." Silence. And then the jury filed out. 2 hours later they returned. On the count of murder in the first degree. Camilla's breath hitched. "We find the defendant not guilty." Tears streamed down Camilla's face. Lena collapsed into a chair. Alana just exhaled. But that wasn't the end. In the weeks that followed, more women came forward. Jordan's ex-girlfriend filed a lawsuit against his security firm. Investigations into the company revealed money laundering, illegal surveillance, and ties to rogue law enforcement officers. Detective Ron Taylor's death was ruled suspicious. Camilla, though free, chose not to return to her old life. She moved to Oregon, where she began volunteering with abuse survivors. Her story was featured on national TV. A documentary followed. Justice had been served, but scars remained. Camilla kept one photo from her old life. Her and Lena, smiling at a school fundraiser. She kept it to remind herself, Not of what she'd lost, but of what she survived. Moral lesson: sometimes the most dangerous prisons are the ones we can't see. Abuse isn't always bruises, it's fear, control, and silence. And surviving it doesn't make you weak, makes you a warrior. If you or someone you know is in danger, speak up. There is help, and there is hope. Thanks for watching this emotional real-life story. If this story moved you, please hit the like button. Comment below if you believe justice was served, and share your thoughts or stories. Don't forget to subscribe for more powerful true stories just like this one. Stay safe, stay strong,